All right, Corey. Reds lead 7-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Graham Ashcraft comes to the mound. How we doing today, Corey? How's Memorial Day treating you?
I'm telling you what, it's treating me a lot better when the Reds score 7 runs. We take a 7-2 lead into the ninth inning. I'll tell you what. So, yeah, having a really good Memorial Day, man. And how about you? Get anything crazy today?
No, nothing crazy. Been hanging around watching the Reds. Like you said, way better when the Reds are doing good things. Hopefully, they can hold a 5-run lead here in the bottom half of the ninth, and we can have a fun show.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot easier to do on days like this.
You and I were joking. They had Caleb Ferguson and Graham Ashcraft both warming up down in the bullpen, and it looks like they went the safe route and said, "We'll just put Ashcraft in there."
Correct.
Ferguson might have been just
Ferguson. Just stretch it out today, buddy. We'll take care of this. Shoot.
It'd be nice if he could have like a 10-pitch inning here and just be available
just
again.
Seal the deal.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a good point. Come on.
0-2.
Good. Everyone keep Beatty off the bases after he slapped that one in front of Blade the last time. Got lucky when my man short arm and one.
Yeah,
keep that from happening again.
Tyler Stevenson, ABS challenge. Get him? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That man knows the zone now.
He is unbelievable.
He really is.
I mean, look how close that is. By an inch.
Right? That little nibble of the ball on the outside of the zone, though, he's got that nailed.
Yeah. That's one of those pitches that's hard to hit. Like breaking ball that's lands in the top of the zone like that. Like that thing's coming in so high, you have no chance.
Right.
It also feels like, go ahead.
If you'd asked me before the season started if that was going to be a strike, I'd have told you no. I figured like at least half the ball would have to have been in the zone. But I mean, they're giving you that ball advantage, I guess, on every part of the plate.
I was going to say that's one of those pitches for sure. Yeah, that was never called a strike previously.
Right.
Like if umpires are calling that, like you probably don't call it that often because it's coming in high and.
Yeah, it's the definition of a nibbler, that's for sure.
Graham just coming in firing strikes.
Yeah, bud. God, that's nice to see.
Yeah, no kidding. How many? No walks on the day. No walks on the day, Corey.
Just looking the same thing. I'm like, I don't think we have.
Brock Burke gave up a run, but he didn't walk a guy. TJ Anton didn't walk a guy. Nick Lodolo didn't walk a guy. That's big time. That might be the story of the day.
Change the headlines. Here we go.
Yeah.
Come on, G. So in true typical technology fashion, my thing started buffering right before we went live. So you're a little bit ahead of me. So I'll let you take the reins on what we're doing live here. So I'm a little bit behind you.
Okay. I'll try not to spoil anything for you. I'll let you call it out.
You're good. There we go. All right. Down to the last strike. Or down to the last out, I guess I should say. 2 outs. And who we got coming to the plate? I'm not even sure, to be honest with you.
Someone said, I cannot hear you guys. I assume everyone else can hear us. I haven't seen anybody else say that. So I think we're good.
I hope so. If not, we just been on here yakking like birds.
I think we're good. Craig's in here. He would have told us, I feel like.
Oh, it's Carson Benj coming to the plate. Benj is 1 for 2 today.
Said, yeah, you're fine. Okay, good.
Good.
That would have been funny. Just our lips are just sitting here moving.
Right. That was pitch number 10. I was really hoping he'd ground out right there so we get that 10-pitch inning you were talking about.
That would have been big time.
No doubt.
We'll take 11 or 12. We'll take 11 or 12.
Right.
I mean, he's just firing strikes in there.
Yeah, he is. There we go. Oh, I thought that was 3. My bad. I got real excited.
I'm pausing mine for like 3 seconds so I don't blow it for you. He just came set for me. Did he come set for you yet?
He's set now, yep. Get ready.
Ball 2. All right, so I'm still ahead of you?
Yep.
Okay. Does he have the ball back?
He does.
Cool. I'm at 9, 8, 7.
You're just
6.
a couple seconds. We're almost there though. Little Fister back up to Ellie. Ellie comes and makes the play. Let's go.
That's a win. That's a win, Corey. All right, we'll be back. Let's go. Let's do a show.
And a bench to bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. That goes Clemente. And the fence. He's done. Get out of here, baseball. It's gone. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep. In the dirt, it's a wild pitch. Here comes Foster. The Reds win the pennant. Hawkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Hatteberg's a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club. Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McLean's first big league bomb. Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again. The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Line into right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, Corey, the Reds win 7-2. Never a doubt. Big start for the offense today. Big start from Nick Lodolo. How we doing? What are your initial thoughts for the game before we get into the box score recap and all that fun stuff?
Oh, man, I'm feeling on cloud 9 today, man. After you get a start like that from Nick Lodolo, which is absolutely what we needed to see from him. You get a bounce-back game from him. Granted, some of the big boppers were out of the New York Mets lineup, so it was a good day for Nick Lodolo to take advantage of. But even that being said, you still got to go out and take care of your business, and he did just that, man, giving us a quality start when we absolutely needed to have it. The offense looked great, and so it's hard to be in a bad mood on a day like today, that's for sure.
And best of yet, 0 walks, my man. 0 walks for the Reds pitching staff. We might never have this the rest of the year, Corey. I mean, what a day for the pitching staff.
Hey, listen, we'll relish in all the glory that we possibly can. So no walks is it's definitely a refreshing change from what we have come accustomed to as Reds fans. That's for sure.
All right, you ready to do the box score recap? I know
Yep.
sometimes you got to get the ninth inning and everything, but nothing too crazy happened. So if you're ready, I will read the Sharefax ad, and then we will go right into it.
Sounds good.
All right, so Chatterbox Reds is brought to you by Sharefax Credit Union. With the weather finally cooperating, it's time to start those home renovations. Sharefax has a $0 closing cost special until May 31st for home equity and lines of credit. Restrictions apply. Contact Sharefax for details at 513-753-2440 or visit sharefax.org. Sharefax Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender and is insured by NCUA. All right, Corey, take it away with the box score recap.
Game number 53 of the Reds season had your Cincinnati Reds traveling to Citi Field to take on the New York Metropolitans. The Reds bringing a 27-25 record, while the Mets are bringing in a 22-31 record and come in trying to get right after a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Miami Marlins, where they scored 2 runs in 3 games. But this Memorial Day matchup found Nick Lodolo coming in against right-handed pitcher Nolan McLean. Nolan McLean came in 2-3 with a 3.57 ERA. It was a 4-10 first pitch and looked like it was going to be a long holiday for the Reds at the beginning when Nolan McLean come out, strike out the side in order in the bottom of the first inning. But the second inning was a completely different story. The Reds would load the bases on a Stewart hit by pitch, a Gino single, and a walk to Nathaniel Lowe. Spencer Steer would hustle out a fielder's choice RBI to the shortstop, taking advantage of a slow glove flip by Bo Bichette, making it 1-0 Reds. Next at bat, Gino would score on a wild pitch by McLean, making it 2-0 Reds after 2. The Reds would tack on another run in the third, in the top of the third, on a J.J. Bloodast to right field, traveling 409 feet, coming off the bat at 105 miles an hour, making it 3-0 Cincinnati Reds. Your Reds would then play add-on in the top of the fourth, and add-on in a big way they would. After a leadoff walk to Gino and a double down the right field line by Nathaniel Lowe, Spencer Steer would score them both on a single up the middle, making it 3-0 Spencer Steer and 5-0 Cincinnati Reds. Spencer Steer would then score on a 376-foot line drive home run down the left field line hit by Tyler Stevenson, making it 7-0 Reds, and chase Mets starter Nolan McLean after he would hit Blake Dunn in the next at bat. So McLean's final line: 3.13 or 3 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and the 2 big homers. And the Reds would end the top half of the fourth up 7-0. And Nick Lodolo, well, you can't say enough about the start he made today. He just kept right on dealing, looking like Nick Lodolo of his prime. He would run into traffic in a couple of innings with a couple of Mets runners getting to third base on a couple different occasions, and he did give up a solo shot to Marcus Semien in the bottom of the 6th. But he would leave after 6 innings pitched with a 7-1 lead. The final line for Nick Lodolo: 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 0. Let me repeat that a little louder for the people in the back: 0 walks, 1 home run, and like I said earlier, left with a 7-1 lead. The Mets would get one back in the bottom of the 7th on a double down the corner that Blade misjudged. It was kind of a tough play. He looked like he kind of short-armed it a little bit, but Brett Beatty would get the second and then would later score on back-to-back groundouts on reliever Brock Burke, and it made it 7-2 Reds. A collective effort from T.J. Antone, Sam Mole, and Graham Ashcraft closed the door, allowing 0 runs, and louder for my people in the back, 0 walks out of the bullpen, leading to a 7-2 Cincinnati Reds win.
All right, good stuff, Corey, as always. And we have our deep drive of the day. It was Tyler Stevenson, his 4th home run of the season. Tyler Stevenson rocking high socks today for the first time in his career. When he hit it, it made it a 7-0 ball game. It was 103.3 mile per hour off the bat, 367 feet. The win probability went up 4% to 97% when Stevenson hit that home run. And for Stevenson, which is a rarity, the ball was pulled. Stevenson rarely pulls home runs, but you love to see it. The deep drive of the day is brought to you by QC Kinetix. If knee pain or shoulder pain is slowing you down, whether it's on the golf course, the pickleball court, or even in the gym, it might be time to talk with the care team at QC Kinetix Cincinnati about regenerative medicine options. QC Kinetix takes a different approach, focusing on treatments designed to help your body heal and recover. They're conveniently located in Liberty Township, right across from Lakota East High School. See what the team at QC Kinetix is all about. Visit QC Kinetix or call 513-655-3356. Make sure you tell them Chatterbox sent you. QC Kinetix, better mobility starts with healing, not surgery. All right, Corey, let's get into the start by Nick Lodolo. Obviously, Lodolo coming back from the blister injury to start the season. It wasn't so smooth his first couple of starts, kind of frustrating for Reds fans. I think they needed pitching at the time, and he just didn't look like the Lodolo we've seen in the past. Today, again, the Mets lineup didn't have a lot of their guys. Lindor on the injured list, Juan Soto out today, but he did what he needed to do. Didn't walk a guy. Like you said, had 7 strikeouts, went 6 innings. Just really good stuff from Nick Lodolo, and it felt like a big step forward for Lodolo today.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't act like I had the most faith in Lodolo when he came to the mound today, but when he comes out looking the way he did, looking like the Lodolo of old, John Sadek even brought it up on the broadcast. He was talking about how much he used his sinker today and kept the ball low in the zone, and that seems to be a key to Lodolo's success. And I don't care if it was a AAA. I saw somebody in the chat say it was a AAA lineup. I don't care if it was a AAA lineup or not. That's exactly what I needed to see out of Nick Lodolo. And from a starting pitcher's perspective, any arm that looks halfway decent right now, we will absolutely take. And he was definitely much more than halfway decent today. So hats off to Nick Lodolo. A great start. We absolutely needed to have it. And we don't get a whole lot of quality starts these days. And so we'll take it when we can get it.
Yeah, and it was interesting. He started off the game with that breaking ball that looked like it slipped right off of his hand. Hit, I forget who it was, but hit him in the back. And you're like, oh gosh, that breaking ball, because like it or not, like it's the pitch that gives him the blister issues, but it's also the pitch that leads to a lot of his success. Like when that breaking ball is on, it is nasty, and guys are swinging at it in the right-hander's batter's box as it hits them in the foot because it's so nasty. But he got 15 whiffs today, 8 of which came on that curveball. It had a 53% whiff rate on the curveball today, which is what you love to see, because I don't think it's crazy to say that when Lodolo came back, it was probably hard for him to trust that breaking ball and throw it like he's always thrown it, knowing that's what's giving him these blister issues. So it really caught my eye today when he got so many whiffs on that pitch, because when that pitch is on, and he did hit 2 guys with it, so it's not fully back, but he's always kind of hit guys with it. But the 2 today looked kind of like they just slipped out of his hand. But
right.
It feels like he's getting more comfortable with that pitch, and I think that is what kind of unlocks everything else for Lodolo.
Absolutely. You almost it's almost like a football player getting hurt. You know what I mean? You're afraid to get back out there, a little timid to get out there and throw the pads on again. But once you do, it's like, you know what? We're right back in the fold again. And that's what it kind of felt like for Lodolo today. Once he said heck with it and started throwing it, and it went well for him. Obviously, like you say, it got away from him a couple times, but he's obviously able to work through it and is feeling comfortable enough to at least try to work through it, which is nothing but good signs for Nick Lodolo. So I haven't been the most what am I trying to say, optimistic guy when it comes to Nick Lodolo. So to end the day with a smile on my face talking about Lodolo makes me feel a lot better, because I mean, from an optimistic perspective, obviously our pitching hasn't been great, but we get our number 1 and number 2 back, and then we start getting outings from Andrew Abbott and Chase Burns in your 3 and 4 spot. I mean, that's you got to feel nothing but optimistic about that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what would it make it? Would you be optimistic, Corey, if I told you Brady Singer was supposed to make the start, and we got Nick Lodolo instead? Because let's be real, Brady Singer, I think we'd take anybody over Brady Singer right now. And all due respect, Brady Singer had a great year for the Reds last year, but he's just been bad this year. So I was actually pretty excited when I saw and I was pretty surprised that the Reds said, we're just going to skip Brady Singer through the rotation this time, and we're going to give Lodolo, Burns, and Abbott the starts against the Mets. Now that doesn't set up great against the Braves over the weekend, but I think Lodolo, I think most Reds fans and us will take over Singer for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And if there's anybody that needs to skip a start right now, it is most definitely Brady Singer. So enjoy the week off, my man. Try to get right. Spend that time with Derek Johnson, like Tito was talking about before the game, and just get right. So honestly, I heard you talking about it the other day about giving Tito some flowers when Tito deserves his credit, that sort of thing. It feels very un-Tito-esque right now, man, with skipping the start. And now we're doing, I don't want to call it lineup bingo because Tito hates that, but it's lineup bingo. I don't care what anybody says. It's working. And so it's Tito getting out of his comfort zone a little bit, man. The proof's in the pudding when we're putting up 7 runs and scoring like we are. I mean, it's been fun to watch, and hats off to Tito for kind of coming out of his comfort zone a little bit, because we know he doesn't always like to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big league transition by you. Let's talk about the offense. Obviously, 7 runs pretty early in the game, all off starter Nolan McLean, who that guy, like, honestly, I was watching him and his pitches are nasty. You're kind of like, how does anybody hit this guy? And he kind of got, after striking out the side in the first inning, he kind of gets a little wild in the second. He leaves a middle fastball over at the plate to JJ Bleday. And the offense, only 6 hits, but they got out early and got a lead in a big league, like 7-0 instantly. And you felt pretty good. What'd you see from the offense today?
Timely hitting. It was nice to see the actually timely hitting and string it together when it actually meant the most. I think we actually got out hit today. I think it was 6-9 the last time I looked. So timely hitting makes it nice. And I don't know. I just like to shake up in the lineups, to be completely honest with you. I was actually looking it up before we got on the show. It was May 13th when we decided to move Ellie into the 2-hole. In the 42 games before we moved Ellie to the 2-hole, we were scoring 3.8 runs a game. And the 10 games, not counting today, in the 10 games since we've moved Ellie to the 2-hole, we've scored 62 runs, which averages out to 6.2 runs a game. So the proof is in the pudding as far as that's concerned, man. When you do the lineup shake up and you get Ellie to the plate more, get your best batters to the plate as often as you possibly can, good things happen. I think I can hear Nick Kirby screaming from Cleveland right now that he's been saying it for how freaking long now, but we've actually done it and it's actually working. And when you have days like today, you and I even talked about it kind of before the show. I'm not sure if it was even in the 9th inning. Ellie goes 0 for 4 today, and we're still scoring runs, and we're still able to put it up. That has to make you feel good.
Yeah, 100%. Early in the season, we saw it was Ellie De La Cruz and Sal Stewart carrying the offense, and none of them really did all that much today. And you got 7 runs from guys like JJ Bleday, Spencer Steer, Nathaniel Lowe had a big double. Just really good stuff from that. And you're spot on. Like, it's funny to me that Tito had that big quote about how a lineup bingo, he doesn't like to play lineup bingo because it doesn't really do any. I'll tell you what, lineup bingo is working like a charm. So we got to keep playing lineup bingo, brother, because lineup bingo has given this Reds offense life. I said it to you before we went on the show, but aside from that, game 1 of the Cardinals doubleheader, the Reds offense has been pretty good. They've been scoring pretty much 3 to 4 runs at the minimum consistently lately, which if you get good pitching, that's pretty good. Now the bullpen obviously has not been great during a lot of that stretch, which is why they've been gone through some cold stretches. But for the most part, the offense has been pretty consistent. And yeah, keep playing. I'm all for lineup bingo when it works like this. So you're spot on that.
Well, after you use the whole bingo reference, it's kind of, we feel like we're playing bullpen bingo. We feel like we're playing lineup bingo. Their bingo's all over the place right now. So whether we want to say it, call it that or not, it is what it is. But whatever we're doing right now, let's just keep doing it because it's obviously working.
Yeah, for sure. And 2 guys I wanted to get to. First, I want to talk about JJ Bleday. He hasn't been as hot. He obviously came up and was just setting the world on fire. Like the first week or 2 he was up, he was literally one of the best hitters in baseball, which was crazy. And you probably knew that wasn't going to continue throughout the year. But again, today he comes up with a big home run early in the game. And for the first month and a half of the season, it was who's going to start in right field? Is it going to be Will Benson? Is it going to be Noelvi Marte? Is it going to be who knows who's it's going to be? And it feels like ever since Bleday has been brought up, he absolutely just has been everything the Reds have hoped for. He took that job and basically said, I'm gonna keep this job for the rest of the year. Tito's even batting him against lefties. He's just been awesome for this team. But what have you seen in Bleday?
Yeah, exactly the same thing. And it's nice to find guys that are trying to find a resurgence. You go get guys like that are trying to find a name for themselves, that need maybe a change of scenery and something else to get going. And so kudos to those guys for finding a guy like JJ Bleday. I feel like he fits the Reds well because they even brought it up on the broadcast today. He likes to play the bigger ballparks and likes to have the range and that sort of stuff to play in the bigger outfields. But in our little bandbox, he could obviously cover the outfield well. And the way he swings in our little right field porch seems like a pretty good marriage as far as that's concerned. And even right-handed and left-handed pitching. I mean, they've had the confidence in him to keep him in the lineup and see some left-handed pitching, which I'm completely for. There's no way to change the narrative if you're not going to get the at bats. So I kind of like the way they've been giving Bleday the. What am I trying to say? They're giving Bleday a chance to actually form into
the
his
everyday
role
guy.
with this team. Yeah, right. To form into his role with this team is what I was trying to get at. Sorry.
Yeah, 100%. And then the other guy I kind of want to talk about today was Tyler Stevenson. Went with he said he was wearing the Tito Speedo on the broadcast today. It's brought him some good luck. They said he got on base wearing it 4 times when he was wearing it the other day. This is a kid's show, but the Cowboy called it a thong, which was pretty funny. But
That was funny.
Tyler Stevenson, he also wore some high socks, so he's switching it up. Obviously, he's had a really tough year. You look at the offense and you look at the box scores, and you kind of go through the lineup. You have Blake Dunn, 866 OPS, Ellie De La Cruz, 863 OPS, JJ Bleday, 973 OPS, Sal Stewart, 831 OPS, Nathaniel Lowe, 907 OPS. Like, guys are hitting. Spencer Steer, 757 or 780 OPS. And then you look at Stevenson, who's 591 OPS. And it's like, he's the guy. I know Tyler Stevenson gets a lot of people are hard on Tyler Stevenson, but even when he's struggled in the past, like, he's been an above average hitting catcher. I don't think people realize how bad catchers are across the league in Major League Baseball hitting the ball. But Stevenson's it's almost this year for him. He's so good at this ABS challenge thing. It's almost like he's been better defensively. He has been better defensively than offensively. But then every once in a while, when you see him, I see him pull a ball like that. And it was a 2-0 count. It was actually a ball in on his hands. It was probably a ball, and he just pulls it out of the ballpark, and he's a big guy. It's like, I don't know what he has to do, but he always drives the ball the other way and center to right field. Like, if he could just learn to pull the ball consistently, I feel like he would have so much more power. But he's a guy that this team, if they could get going, it just is so huge for the offense. But he is still providing value to the team, like we talked about with the ABS challenges and that type of thing. But what are your thoughts on Stevenson? Obviously a big day today. You think it's the Tito Speedo? You think it's the high socks? Or what are your thoughts on Steve-O?
And that's part of why I love the game of baseball, because stupid little quirky stuff like that, it gets you a little bit of confidence, and then the next thing you know, you're rolling. So whatever it takes, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's high socks, low socks, whatever, pink cleats, whatever we got to do. So with Tyler Stevenson, he's obviously been a staple in this lineup for the last couple of years, and you love to see him when he's producing. I feel like he caught a little bit of flack earlier in the year because not only was he struggling at the plate, he was making some bonehead plays defensively, like not tagging the guy out at home, and you know what I mean, that sort of thing. So he was catching a little bit of flack earlier in the season. But when Tyler Stevenson's able to even just get a base hit here and there and do what he does at the plate, behind the plate today, getting the strikes where we need him, rocking that ABS system like he does, that's the Tyler Stevenson that we absolutely need. And he can be a wild card offensively, because when he gets hot, our lineup looks that much better offensively. But we need that. We still need that defensive stability behind the plate. And Tyler Stevenson's giving it to us right now. Hopefully we can keep that rolling. But like you say, you start looking down at the numbers. The two guys at the bottom of our lineup were definitely not pulling their weight as far as the OPS is concerned. So it's a little concerning. But by the same token, days like today, a Tito Speedo and high socks, you could be rolling and get hot for the next month and a half. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, and I think the reason, like, I know for instance, for me, the reason I don't get as upset with a guy like Tyler Stevenson is because there's nobody really behind him. Like, if you're starting Jose Trevino every day, you're not getting much more offense. Now, PJ Higgins has shown he's gotten some hits. I don't know if that's sustainable. He has looked pretty good lately, so maybe you have something there. But Stevenson just has so much more upside than those two guys. So like today, you kind of see that, but I think that's probably why like for me, I don't, crush Tyler Stevenson as much, I guess, because there's no other options. Whereas like Brian Hayes, you're like, well, you can play Sal Stewart at third, or you can move guys around to not have him in the lineup. And we'll talk about McLean in a little bit, but I think that's probably why he doesn't, like, I don't talk about it as much as like I did someone like Hayes, because again, there's not much depth there at the catcher position for the Reds.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. It's going to be years down the road before we see the Alfredo Dunos of the world, and you know what I mean, that sort of thing. So you're right. It's one of those, we're going to have to deal with what we got, but I want what we got to be productive. So
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a rock and a hard place. Don't get me wrong, but like you say, we need to keep Tyler Stevenson going because we don't have much to turn to behind him. And I'll give the flowers to PJ Higgins because he's definitely been serviceable when we've needed him to be. I mean, we've been putting the ball in play and making contact when we absolutely needed to have it. So hats off to PJ, but like you say, go Tyler. We need you. We need you more than some of the other spots.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. All right. Going to get into some super chats here. Got a couple. And then we have one more big topic we want to talk about before we get to kind of what's upcoming this week. All right. Ned Flanders said, my AI assisted analysis of the game suggests the Mets are the worst offensive team in the league. They don't look ready for Chase Burns. I hope you're right, Ned. I hope you're right. Not many teams have been ready for Chase Burns this year. Chase Burns has been absolutely incredible. Appreciate the super chat. We know you're always in the chat, Ned, so thank you for being here. Billy says that looked like a AAA lineup for the Mets, but we will take it. Yeah, it sure did. You're used to seeing the Mets roll out, and you see Francisco Lindor, and you see Juan Soto, and you see Pete Alonso in the past. They certainly didn't have those boppers in the lineup today. But like you said, we will take the win any way we can get it, because this Reds team, it feels like plenty of times in the past we've seen lineups like that, and all of a sudden they're going for 10 runs, or this team sometimes plays down to its competition. So it was nice to see them hold them to 2 runs, and the Reds pitching kind of did their job. And then the last one here from Flat Rock says, Reds, Bengals, FC Cincinnati, Ohio State Bearcats, Votto, Clock, Plade, Stevenson, and Kentucky. I love it all. I love it all.
Right.
Flat Rock. Appreciate the super chat. Before we get into the Matt McLean conversation, I want to talk about Matt McLean a little bit. But I want to remind you guys about 78 Cigars. Cincinnati legend Anthony Munoz has a new venture, and we're fired up to partner with it here on Chatterbox Reds. Introducing 78 Cigars, a premium cigar line from the Hall of Famer himself. If you love great cigars in Cincinnati football history, this is the perfect combination. You can grab 78 Cigars right now at both Montgomery Inn locations or over at Creekside Cigar Company. You can also check them out online. Just head over to anthonymunoz.com, click on the 78 Cigars page, and learn more or place your order today. That's 78 Cigars from the greatest offensive lineman to ever do it, Anthony Munoz. So, like I said, Corey, we've been pretty positive. We've had a positive show today.
We really have.
The Reds came out with a big win. It's Memorial Day. A lot of people didn't have to work today. But there's one kind of thing I wanted to talk about. Matt McLean coming into today, he was 0 for 15. Coming into today, went 0 for 4, did have one hard hit ball today, but he's 0 for 19 in his last 4 games. What have you seen from Matt McLean? Are you ready? Are you ready to see Edwin Arroyo, or are you ready to see someone like Spencer Steer get everyday time at second base so that other guys can play in the outfield? Where are you on the whole Matt McLean conversation?
It's hard, man. I'll be honest with you, because every part of my Reds heart fandom wants to be a Matt McLean guy, but we're getting to Kid Ryan Hayes territory. Like, yeah, okay, your defensive prowess gets you so far, but when you're hitting $198, like, we got to start having another conversation, man. We're not even at the Mendoza line, and we're at Memorial Day. Like, you can't have. We had such high expectations for Matt coming out of spring, because it's like, oh, the old Matt's back. Here we go. He gets off to a slow start, gets a little bit hot, like you said, like we were talking about earlier. He gets a little bit hot. We move him up in the lineup. He disappears for a little while. It's just so streaky, man. It's hard to put up with, and the good streaks aren't outweighing the bad streaks when you're hitting $198 and your OPS is 622. You know what I mean? Like, it's at a certain point, it's you got to I was going to say crap or get off the pot, but I want to try to keep it a kid's show. So at a certain point, you got to make a decision there. And I don't know what the answer is, man. Am I against seeing Edwin Arroyo? Absolutely not. I'm all about giving this team whatever spark they possibly can. And if we've got to start doing a little bit of a yo-yo from AAA to start getting some of the hot bats in the lineups and start solidifying, even if it is our 9-hole, let's solidify our 9-hole and have a good hitter there for a change. Might actually be nice to have a lineup that goes solid from 1 through 9. I understand it's your 9-hole, and with the other guys hitting, you could put a little bit of a Band-Aid on it, but the conversation's still got to be had at some point.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Listen, I've always been a big fan of Matt McLean. 2023 was so electric. Then he gets the tough season-ending shoulder surgery in 2024. Last year, it wasn't great, but then everyone kind of was like, oh, maybe it was the shoulder. It's hard to come back from that. Spring training, he looked incredible. Literally one of the best players in the league in spring training, but you're like, we'll see how it happens in the regular season. And it's just been bad. And like, he had a little bit of a week or two stretch there where he went, he was playing pretty well, and Tito all of a sudden moved him up to the leadoff spot, but then that went terrible. And I'm kind of with you. Like, the reason that's all cooled down, like when everyone was on the Edwin Arroyo train, it was because this offense was playing so bad that they were looking at the guys who, like Brian Hayes, like Matt McLean, that were just bad, and they couldn't. The offense was struggling. They needed to make a change. Now that the offense is playing better, you've kind of heard it a little bit less because, like you said, they're putting a Band-Aid with everybody else performing well. He's hitting a little bit down there in the 9-hole, but I'm kind of with you. It's like we've seen this for a year and a half now. This isn't a small sample size. At what point is he just going to all of a sudden start playing better offensively? And to me, on top of that, is like, maybe Matt McLean's one of these guys that can go down in AAA and figure it out. Is that for sure? No, but he's not doing it. He is playing a good defensive second base. But I think if we learned anything, for everyone that said Brian Hayes is so great defensively that you can't put Sal Stewart out there, we've seen Sal Stewart play pretty good at third base.
Yeah.
I don't think the Reds are going to call up Edwin Arroyo and he's going to be the worst second baseman of all time. Now, I also will say I could see Edwin Arroyo coming up and struggling. It's a hard transition from AAA to the big leagues. But I think where I'm at is you got to try. We got to try to do something, and not only to make the big league club better, but again, I think maybe it could do some good for Matt McLean to go down in AAA and get some confidence back, maybe work on something, whether it's a stance change or whatever it may be, but do something, because it's doing no good for him being up here and having a 5.9, or like you said, 622 OPS, hitting 198. And the Reds aren't getting anything. They're getting a good defensive second base, but it's a tough conversation because all Reds fans, we all grew to love Matt McLean. Everybody's rooting for him, but it's just, he has to be better. You can't just keep rolling out guys. Like you said, it's not as bad as Brian Hayes, but it's getting there.
Right. It's getting to that point. And there's two ways of thinking about it too. If you bring Edwin Arroyo up and he struggles, it's not any different than what we're going through right now anyway. And the other thought is, I would much rather see Matt McLean get right in AAA than try to get right struggling. And I know that sounds dumb. If he gets right, obviously it's a good thing for the major league, but I'd rather him figure it out in AAA, bring Edwin Arroyo up, see if he gets a shot. If he struggles, it's not any different than what we're in now. We're kind of in the same boat we were. And with any luck, Matt McLean's down behind him getting right. And when we bring it back up, everything's right with the world. So I'm all for changing it up, man. We put bullpen bingo and lineup bingo and all that. Whatever we got to do, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting. Somebody brought up in the chat about Friedel, and it just made me think of it as well. While we're on like the Hayes, Friedel, McLean conversation, obviously Hayes is on the injured list now, so that conversation is no longer. Sal's going to play a lot of third base. Gino's going to play a lot of third base. The Friedel thing is interesting too. And to me, it's almost like they're being stubborn a little bit, because if Friedel's not going to play, he's not necessarily a guy that brings you a lot off the bench. He's not like a great defender. He's not a guy that's going to hit home runs off the bench. It feels like he's just kind of stashed on the bench. I guess he's just going to, which to me, if you're going to do that, it's like, well, I'd probably rather see like someone like Noel Marte up here and,
yes,
play Blake Dunn, Noelvi Marte, JJ Bleday in the outfield, and mix. You can obviously mix Steer in there. Steer's going to play every day wherever he's at. He'll play somewhere in the lineup. But it's just to me that whole Friedel conversation. It's like, okay, well, I am glad that Tito, like you said, he's made some tough decisions, and he said you're not going to start, but he's just sitting on the bench, and I don't think he really gives you much as a bench player, because he's certainly not somebody that comes in and is like, oh, like for Dane Myers, for example. Dane Myers is someone that comes in, and all of his career he's been great against lefties. He comes in yesterday or Saturday. Obviously the Reds got rained out yesterday. Comes in on Saturday and gets a huge pinch hit double off the bench because he's great against lefties. Like, what does Friedel do or have that you really am like, we need this guy on our bench? And I think we know the answer, but that's where I think I'm kind of like, I think they're being a little bit stubborn. They're scared to, I guess, get rid of him or send him down. I don't even know what his option situation is. I should know that off the top of my head, but it's just a weird situation with Friedel. I do appreciate that they're not starting him and just playing him every day now, but now it's just, he's just kind of there on the bench with really no role.
Yeah, exactly. Because there is no scenario where you're like, you know what, we need TJ Friedel now, unless it's, I was talking about this with somebody in the shop actually earlier today. It's a situation, if you need a sacrifice bunt or something like that, that's TJ Friedel. Or if you got into a situation to where maybe you got runners on less than 2 outs and you need somebody to absolutely make contact, I might trust him to put the ball in play a little bit more than, say, Will Benson or somebody like that. But other than that, like, you're literally scraping the bottom of the barrel to try to find reasons to bring TJ Friedel off the bench. I feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, like, yeah, it tugs at the heartstrings, but by the same token, the proof's in the pudding. And after watching that throw from left field the other day, I don't care to watch TJ Friedel make a throw from the outfield ever again. It's tough.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're spot on. Like, he's not great defensively anymore. He's not fast anymore. And he's not great at the plate anymore. Like you said, we're bringing TJ Friedel. The one time we would want to bring him in is if we're bunting him.
Right.
So
exactly.
we have a guy on the roster so that we can bunt with him.
Right.
I think that says kind of all we need to say about that.
No doubt.
Let me look to see. Let me search the old Twitter to see if they've announced the starter for tomorrow. I don't think they do, but Nick Kirby left us with some nice notes. We can talk about the possible options that the Mets might start tomorrow, because they have not listed any probable starters, and it looks like they still haven't. So unless anyone from the chat sees a probable starter, I have not seen one yet. But tomorrow, 7:10 p.m., Nick and Trace will be back live after the game in the ninth. Chase Burns will start for the Reds. The Mets actually have TBD listed as for Tuesday and Wednesday. Like I said, there's really been no public indications who have been projected to take the mound for the Mets. But Fangraphs projected left-handed starter David Peterson for Tuesday, followed by a piggyback combination of Tobias Myers and Jonah Tong on Wednesday. Peterson was recently moved from the rotation into a bulk relief role before making a start Thursday against the Nationals. Over his last 3 appearances, 1 start and 2 bulk relief outings, totaling 14 innings. Peterson has a 1.93 ERA on the season. So if it is Peterson, that would be another left-handed starter, I believe. Let me just make sure that
I think you're right.
But he's kind of been an interesting guy for, over the course of his career. But I guess what are you looking for? What are you looking for? I'll look up more while you kind of answer this. But yeah, David Peterson, left-handed pitcher. But what are you kind of looking for from Chase Burns tomorrow? Obviously, he's been fantastic this year. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's not crazy to say that. As crazy as it is, hasn't even been in the big leagues for a year, and he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball, and like you can legitimately say he's a Cy Young contender. But kind of what are you looking for Chase Burns tomorrow? And kind of we'll kind of leave it at that.
I look for Chase Burns to take advantage of this lineup. I ain't gonna lie. If something happens that Soto doesn't play, I just don't see a lot of pop in that lineup. The way he's just his command, man. The guy looks like he's a 10-year veteran out there right now. And the times when we're missing our ace, we have been able to find an ace to replace him, and it couldn't be any bigger for the Reds in this rotation. I mean, it's scary to think about where we would be without a guy like Chase Burns right now. So hats off to Chase. I look for more of the same. I look for him to dominate this lineup. These guys are just struggling offensively. I actually did catch a little bit of the Locked On Mets podcast just to see what the other side was talking about before we came on today, and they're not real happy with that offense. So I look for Chase Burns to just keep them right in the dirt, kind of where they're at, and keep right on rolling. We'll get to Andrew Abbott and get a sweep and get out of town. So, what about you? What are you looking for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think the Burns discussion, like I think we all saw he was going to eventually be really good. I don't think I expected him to be this good this fast. And what's really hit me this year for Burns is like last year a lot, we saw he would come in and be really good, but his pitch count would get so high. It'd be like a lot for what we saw like Hunter Green early in his career. Like it would be 4 1/3 innings. He'd have 95 pitches type of thing. This year, he hasn't went less than 5 innings one time. I mean, you look, here's the last 5 starts, Corey. Let's just list these things off. 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, no runs, 6 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, no runs, 6 innings, 1 run. I mean, the dude has been unbelievable. And that's with 9 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts. He had the one weird game against the Astros where he had 2 strikeouts. He had 7 and then 9. He's just been, it's literally like you cannot say enough about how good Chase Burns has been. And I know you and I were talking about before we hopped on here, before Saturday, the Reds were 0 for their last 14 on games not started by Chase Burns and Andrew Abbott. But Burns has basically been, they're actually coming, they've won 2 straight coming into a Burns start for once. For the last, I think, 3 or 4 starts, the Reds had lost every game prior to Chase Burns, and you turned to Burns, and he was kind of the stopper for this team, which the old saying is you're only as good as your next day starting pitcher.
Right.
And you forget how young this kid is and but you just feel when he's on the mound, like you said, like you expect him to go dominate this Mets lineup that isn't that great. And I'm the same way. Like, I'll be surprised if he doesn't, because he's been that impressive and he's been that good at kind of his young age.
Absolutely. I would feel confident if we're playing the Dodgers tomorrow with Chase Burns on the mound. I'm that confident in what he's got going on right now. It's the kid's carrying the load. And that's why I even brought it up earlier in the show. That's what got me more excited than anything else. We're 3 games above 500. We've gone through the lows that we've gone through without our number 1 and our number 2 starter. There's not a lot of teams in Major League Baseball that can lose their number 1 and number 2 for as long as we have and still be where we're at. That's why you play well in April. That's why you give yourself that cushion. So that way, when it does slide out from underneath of you a little bit and you do start to get right, there's that optimism to come back, man. And like you say, Hunter Green comes back. There's your ace. And then we're getting Chase Burns too. And Abbott's what's your 3rd and 4th starter. When Andrew Abbott's your 3rd and 4th starter, things are looking really, really good. So guys like Chase Burns have me keep my optimism high as for what the Reds' chances are and actually still having a playoff team and playing meaningful baseball in September. So I couldn't be more excited to have this guy on the mound.
Yeah, for sure. And then win tomorrow, you have a chance at a sweep. It would just be massive. One little update I wanted to give you. You were talking a little bit about the starting rotation, and then I'll do a quick minor league update. Not really much minor leagues to talk about today. They are off. But Rhett Lauder here, this is from Mike Petraglia. He said Rhett Lauder is going to have a pretty active day today as he ramps up. He's going to have a pretty active day. Then Wednesday, he's going to face some hitters here on Wednesday afternoon. He'll get pretty aggressive on his throwing, is what Terry Francona said. And then likely he's headed for a rehab start or 2 once cleared for games. So good things there. Like you said, this team's been without the 1 and 2 for so long. You finally got Lodolo back. And Rhett Lauder, it seems like maybe a couple weeks, maybe he could be back, which I feel like when you heard the things they were saying about his shoulder clicking, I got pretty scared. It doesn't sound great, but if this pitch, we all thought pitching was going to be a strength of this team. And for a while it was just, they just weren't getting the starting pitching performances you needed. The bullpen was really bad. And I think that should have a ripple effect. If they start getting these guys healthy and the starters get better, the bullpen should be better, because you're not relying on guys to throw. You're not relying on the bullpen to throw 4 or 5 innings. But just want to throw that little nugget out about Lauder, because I think that'll help this rotation in a big way. But any last comments kind of on the pitching staff?
No, not really. I just whatever we've got to do to find a little bit of strength in the bullpen. I know I'd heard Kirby even bring it up before, talked about Chase Petty maybe coming out of the bullpen at some point just to give us a little, just to solidify and have a long reliever back there. I'm not completely against that, but conversation for probably another day. I can't say I love where our rotation's at, but I like where our rotation's at if we're going to get starts like that out of Lodolo, and then you've got Burns and Abbott coming behind him. So we can get a couple arms healthy, like you say, get Brandon Williamson back in the mix. Things are going to start looking up for the pitching staff as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Corey, this has been fun. No minor league update today. All the teams are off. They usually don't play on Mondays, so no minor league update. Like I said, Trace and Nick will be back tomorrow night. Game starts at 7:10. They will be live in the 9th. Listen, the Reds have won 2 straight. We have Chase Burns going tomorrow. Don't let the Reds get hot, Corey. Don't let it happen. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Chatterbox Reds. We can't wait to see you next time. With that, go Reds, and see you later.